Hey, everybody. Really excited to speak with James today, who's back in the tank now as an SDR at Deal. Obviously, you broke in the past, and now as an SDR, most recently hitting 700% of your quota as an SDR this past quarter. We'll definitely break that down in a ton of detail. And maybe to set the stage for everyone, share a little bit about your journey breaking into tech sales and kind of how we got here today.
Yeah, sure, 100%. First of all, Eric, super appreciate you. Thanks for having me again. So breaking into tech, I won't go too deep in that if you guys want to look at my previous interview. But yeah, started out, signed up with the Ascension program that you guys have. Took a deep dive into that and was able to break into my org. And during that time, I also signed up for SDR Accelerator as well. Again, you can look at the old interview, but signed up for it initially before I landed a role, just knowing I wanted to use it and go be a top performer. So that's how we kind of got started with that.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And I would love to dive into it. Obviously, Deal is like one of the most massive unicorn companies right now. It seems like everybody's trying to break in there. So I'm curious even what that experience is like. But yeah, maybe just, breaking in, you're coming from a different industry altogether. How was your first like 3 to 6 months as an SDR even getting ramped? I'm curious, maybe some of the biggest challenges and things you learned along that way.
Yeah, so perfect. So it's a little bit different at my org. Not to speak too much on it, but you'll hear like we have a saying called like deal speed, do everything fast and quick. So unlike other tech orgs, it's not like a long training and enablement period where it's a couple of months where they kind of like groom you up. Ours is like 2 weeks, then you're thrown in the fire. So speaking to that, SDR Accelerator was really, really a great help and tool to me. I didn't know that it was only going to be a few weeks of training, so that just kind of helped out unexpectedly. So just with SDR Accelerator, to me, and we can take a deeper dive into that, but it's so informative. It's not just information. You're really getting it from guys like you and Chris, who has already done this and has success. So it's almost having like a top rep team lead, like you speak about in the course, just at your access. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to sign up for it initially. And it definitely helped me tremendously. I think you remember me reaching out to you before I started and was like, hey, this is my start date, but I'm diving into SDR Accelerator right now. And he was like, man, you're going to hit the ground running. Just didn't expect to, hit it this hard. But yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. And obviously love to see the result and credit to you. Yeah, you got to implement it. It's, to your point, like we can be here, we're on coaching calls and all of those different things, but you got to get the results day in and day out. And I'd love to, like the 2-week training. Yeah, that's pretty intense, but also, I mean, in some ways credit to Deal, because I think some of the best ways to learn is just getting thrown in the deep end and really just getting out there. But I would be curious, and a great question, because I bought training as a rep. We obviously work with tons of reps in the industry, maybe just highlighting some of the advantages that having that external program like SDR Accelerator gave you that maybe the company training didn't have, and or were things you would have to learn over a longer period of time. I'm curious if anything stands out.
Yeah, a few things. So like one things that you guys have in the course, like for anyone who may have, taken Ascension or another SDR course, it's way like a way deeper dive than regular. It's not surface stuff. You can tell that you guys actually did the job and were successful at it. So for example, having like the CRM training, like not just one CRM, Salesforce, HubSpot, at your org or SDRs watching this, you may use different things for sequence like outreach or sales law. So it dives into everything. So anything in your tech stack that your org may be using takes a dive into that. Also, just with the building the list out and your product market fit, how you go into that and how to get certain prompts on ChatGPT and how to build that out and go ahead and start learning how to prospect better. Those are some big things that stand out. Of course, like the live coaching calls. I was in there when it was still Connor. Elijah is awesome as well, enterprise BDR manager. So that's just really priceless. Like even if you just get that alone, having those weekly coaching calls with a small group to where your questions can get answered, not like a group of 100 people and you type in the chat and maybe it gets answered and maybe it doesn't. And actually another thing is they take a lot of time with you one-on-one. Like it's not just here's your answer and just keep it moving. Like sometimes Elijah will even like pull up one of your accounts that you're working on specifically, and that's just invaluable to me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I love that too. I mean, obviously live coaching is a big aspect of any program that we have, but I find with SDR and AE mastery and all of those programs, it's like you have people already in the role, very deep in it. So that the conversations are really high level. That's awesome to hear. I'd love to, and again, this isn't just like blind endorsement of higher levels. Like this is a chance for you to highlight like your work. I would love to just pick on the things that you are doing extremely well to get, 700% quota in a quarter and beyond. Is there anything you feel like that you've just learned along the way, regardless of where it came from, that has really helped you set yourself apart?
Yeah, I would say doing like pre-discovery. Again, different segments are different, but at the enterprise level, you really need to do some type of discovery because you're speaking to, directors, VPs, and C-suites. You need to really make it worth their while, especially on the cold call. Like you can get blown off pretty quick. So doing some pre-discovery, doing a deep dive into those accounts, seeing where you can have a product market fit, where you can specifically help them. That's really good. Doing a lead list like you guys teach in the SDR Accelerator, building out a good lead list, whether it's like closed loss or someone you spoke to previously. That's been pretty good. So it's been a combination of doing good discovery, of course, putting in the hard work, and then, like with sales, it's just timing. So you never know when that big deal is going to come. And I just happen to have like 2 really large ones this quarter. So that's how that kind of went.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. It's on like staying in the game, just putting yourself in a position to take advantage when those opportunities present themselves is a really huge part of it, and also hard to just like teach with videos or just like make it make sense kind of thing. So, no, I'd love to see that, man. Yeah,
I will say this as well too. Sorry to cut you off, but like with SDR Accelerator, again, I said this in the first interview. I don't get paid for this. This isn't like I don't get commissions or anything, but just being honest, with SDR Accelerator to me is like sort of like a cheat code. I mean, you guys have done the role, you crushed it. There's like zero fluff in there. Like this is what you're really gonna face as an SDR. Like literally, I was going through my pre-ramp, and I was just thinking, and I started to shoot you a message like things that you said about getting connected with a top performer and not wasting your time in certain scenes. Just all of those things that just came about literally that you teach in the course. So to me, it's like a cheat code, whether you want to be a top performer, whether you have an SDR role now and you're struggling. It's really for everybody, but it's honestly, I just look at it like a cheat code, honestly.
No, we appreciate it, man. And obviously credit to you. Like again, just restating, like, yeah, you've got to put in the work and actually implement it successfully at scale. And you've obviously done that at an exceptional level. So super excited when you reached out and kind of gave us a status report of how things are going for you. Yes. Maybe just in closing, if there's anything you feel like you haven't touched on or advice to anyone that's just getting started as an SDR, I'd leave it wide open, but obviously great conversation and appreciate all the insights.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, like on the last interview, just again, like if you're serious about your career, I get a lot of messages saying it's before it's like, hey, is it worth it or should I pay for this? Like, don't really look at the monetary value. Yes, it's beyond worth it to me. I mean, with the price that you guys have right now, just to get in, to get the coaching, to be able to get better, help you hit your OTE. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. But yeah, I just want to say that in closing, I get those messages like, is it worth it? Like, yes, it's beyond worth it. Like, it should be double, quadruple the price. Hopefully Eric doesn't do that, but just being honest, again, like I said in the last interview, you see the results. You got, Elijah, who became a BDR manager. I think you did one with Ryan, who was crushing his quota, and now you got me with like over 5 million in AR in, a couple of months, and I'm new to the org. So again, the proof is there if you put in the work. So it's beyond, worth what you pay.
No, we appreciate it, man. Credit to you as always. And yeah, I mean, great things to come. This is just the start, no doubt. And excited to see where you'll be 12, 24 months from now as well. So James, really appreciate it. If there's anything you feel like you haven't touched on, feel free. But thanks again for the insight and great catching up.
Nah, thanks, Eric. Appreciate you having me.